Welcome to Movies to Fall Asleep To. I'm your host, Tristan Miller, and I don't sleep so good. That's why I'm turning to the best of the best, some of my favorite people, to talk about their comfort movies, in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, I'll get a little shut-eye, and I hope it helps you get some rest too. So close those eyes, and open those ears, and drift off while we talk about our favorite movies. Hello everybody, and welcome to Movies to Fall Asleep To. I'm your host, Tristan Miller, and joining me today to talk about her favorite movie, one of her favorite movies, When Harry Met Sally, is Hattie Hayes. Hi, Hattie. How are you?
Hi, Tristan. I'm good. I'm excited to talk about one of my top 10 favorite movies with you. And my third favorite romantic comedy.
Okay, I'd like to know what the other two are.
Overboard and Notting Hill.
Okay, both very good. I've never seen Overboard, but I needs must.
It's a movie I wouldn't recommend to...
The woke?
Well, I wouldn't say the woke, but I would say it's not a movie I would recommend to people who are sticks in the mud with no sense of humor and or no taste. But to those of you who are cool and fun to be around and don't mind a little light gaslighting, it's fine.
Because it's
actually rather heavy gaslighting. Actually, it's less gaslighting and more like taking advantage of someone with amnesia. It's adorable. Yeah. And I like it more than this movie we're about to discuss.
That's fascinating to me. I mean, that makes sense that... Okay. I was going to say, isn't it about an amnesiac, which is like... That's always fraught, isn't it?
I guess it depends on whether or not you're the amnesiac.
Well, the great thing...
It's not always fraught. If you don't know it's fraught, you can't say it's fraught.
I was gonna say, the great thing is if you're the amnesiac, you don't even remember whether or not it's bad.
The first 2/3 of the movie, she's having a fine time.
I think watching that and Regarding Henry back-to-back would be really good.
Not familiar with Regarding Henry. Is it
okay.
A 50 First Dates, but with a boy?
No. I mean, kind of, but no. Regarding Henry is a Harrison Ford film. You like him.
I do.
Where he plays a lawyer that's just, he's the worst. He sucks, and he's not, he doesn't pay attention to his kids. It's written in the 90s, if you can tell. And then he gets shot in the head, doesn't die, but forgets who he is, and becomes like a sort of like childlike...
Wow, he got big?
They bigged him. He was embiggened, if you will. And...
I would love to embiggen here. Hi, if you're listening to this and you thought it was a sleep podcast, I hope you're going to have some erotic dreams.
When do I not? But yeah, he's really good in it, and it was written by, of all people, J.J. Abrams. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Crazy. James Abrams?
James Abrams. J. Jonah Abrams. Yeah.
Jonah Abrams.
Yeah.
R.R. Abrams. Abrams.
When did you first see this film? Do you remember?
When did I first see When Harry Met Sally? I would have been in high school. It was probably during what my mom and I refer to as my summer of movies, which was the summer when I saw every movie. So I'm the oldest kid. I'm the oldest daughter. I was sheltered to some degree, and then once I became old enough to not be sheltered anymore, I was still very self-censoring. I was like, I'm only 16, so rated R, I'll wait another year. I was very like that. I was like, no, I'll remove myself from this situation, actually. This seems like it might be over my head. But then the summer before I turned 17, my mom was like, okay, we have to show you some movies because you've seen no movies. And so we watched 16 Candles, and we watched Breakfast Club, and we watched Valley Girl, and we watched, Ferris Bueller, and we watched every Julia Roberts movie ever made, including Erin Brockovich, which I really want to rewatch. And we watched Probably Then is when we watched When Harry Met Sally. And since then, I probably watch it every 6 months or so. That wasn't the case actually in my later high school years, and then in college, I watched it again for the first time in a while, and I've probably watched it every 6 months for the last 10 years, at least.
Mhm.
I've seen it in the theater. I have the script next to me right now. I like it. It's not in my top 5, it's in my top 10, but
That's so interesting.
I have such a normal level of devotion to things.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you first see it?
Thanks for asking. I must have seen it when I was probably about, I want to say 10. And it was on TCM. So my parents had this thing, particularly with my father, when it came to films on TV, where they just kind of trusted the FCC in a way that I would never in my life. Where, like, this is also how I watched Pulp Fiction when I was, again, 10 years old. Because my dad was like, well, it's on TV, they cut out all the swears and all the bad stuff. But my mom, of course, walked in during the GIMP scene, and it was like, Herbert.
For those of you listening at home, Herbert is the name of Tristan's father.
Yeah. Not the name of the GIMP.
I don't want people to operate under the assumption that GIMP's name is Herbert, and your mom would say, hey, I know that GIMP. Herbert?
I know that GIMP.
Herbert the GIMP would be an amazing, like, mid-2000s indie sleaze band. Like,
yeah.
Herbert the GIMP would definitely open for Of Montreal. For the
It
show.
is. It's kind of giving Bob the drag queen.
And his best friend, Herbert the GIMP.
It is best friend Herbert the GIMP. But so it must have been on TCM or TNT, or like, it was just always playing growing up. I mean, that's something I do miss about cable a lot. I mean, I'll get to more of your question a little bit more as I go along, but it's I really miss cable, and as much as like a movie would just be on and you're like, hey, let me just watch half of this movie that I've already seen.
Well,
Or yeah.
It's called turn on the TCM channel on YouTube at any given time.
Yeah.
Like I think Pluto has it, but Miles and I do that very often. And the thing is, we will on a Sunday.
Miles is Hattie's fiance, not the GIMP.
Well, so what happened was a couple months ago we had seen a thing. I don't know why we had. Oh, Miles's mother had stayed with us and had put on something on TCM, and then we saw an ad that said this Sunday they're showing the version of Little Women from the 40s. And I was like, ooh, and I wrote it in my calendar. And I was like, okay, I got to get up early on Sunday so I can tune into Little Women on TCM at 11 a.m. And so I did. But since then, we've just kind of been using it as like background noise a little. And what will happen is one of us will like walk through the living room and then go, boy, I just love that Barbara Stanwyck, and then stand there for a minute and watch 11 minutes of a movie that we've never heard of, where Barbara Stanwyck plays like a librarian who needs to learn manners, and then we'll walk away. And that's This Life Can Be Yours. This Life Can Be Yours.
What? There was some. I was first introduced to the fact that TCM had a YouTube channel like a couple of weeks ago. So apparently they're doing like a push, which absolutely makes sense because it has commercials, and so they can make money off of it. Whatever. But it was like, I think the 10 Commandments was streaming, and it was like 3.5 hours or whatever. And I was like, that's tempting, but I do have like work in a couple of minutes, you know? Not anymore.
The other thing is in between the commercials, they also have like TCM spokespeople come out and be if you're watching this movie, you probably noticed that Vera Ellen's in it. Some facts about her. She was born in coal mine. I mean, I want that job. I want to be the lady who comes out and tells you a thing that you learned 6 minutes ago when you looked up this movie on Wikipedia.
Is Robert Malton still involved? I feel like he must be.
I think so.
Anyway, we watched it a lot, like my mom and I in particular. Like whenever it was on, she would just watch the whole thing. So I've seen it from various different... And here's the nice thing about this film, is that it is like a crisp 90 minutes. So you can just put it on. And like, I didn't realize how short it was until I watched it I was like, gosh, okay, I have this thing coming up with Hattie. I should probably rewatch this film. Let me go to 123movies.com.
The official sponsor of this podcast.
Yeah, allegedly, I should say. And it's like 11 o'clock at night. Gosh, I hope I can... Oh, yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah. So my mom and I watched it a lot. Particularly, it would always play at New Year's, obviously. And so we would... Whenever we'd get into an argument, growing up, this is coming back to me now, where my mom and I would get into an argument, which wasn't terribly often. One of us would undoubtedly go, is one of us a dog in this situation?
I'm the dog. I'm the dog.
Precisely. And it would like diffuse everything, which is so nice.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm. You seem like you probably like Nora Ephron. Was this your first foray?
For those of you listening, I'm holding up a book called The Most of Nora Ephron, which is almost all of her written work. No, it was not my first foray. I'd read a lot of her essays and journalism. Day job wise, I'm a journalist. Her trajectory of going from reporting to being a writer of fiction, nonfiction, and film very much resonated with me. And actually, I feel like I have, I think that my first exposures to Nora were her profile. And then from there, it probably was film. And this, I'm not sure if this was my first like encounter with Nora or what. I know that everything collected in I Feel Bad About My Neck was also a big part of like my adolescence. And subsequently too, in the wake of Nora Ephron's death, a number of different writers wrote about her, and that I think increased my interest. Hearing about who she was as a friend, as a family member, like, and as a writer, hearing about her writing practice, I think really important.
That'll make sense. Did you happen to just have that book next to you, or did you think about it when you were...
I grabbed it. It was on the couch. So I had been following along when I watched the film last night. I had been following and annotating. So the entire script of When Harry Met Sally is in this book.
Oh.
Along with her novel Heartburn and a play. It's a great book. Out of print, you can get it on Thrift Books for $8, which is what I did. Retail for $35, but you can find it online. But when I was watching it yesterday, I followed along with the script and I annotated all of the ad-libs and also what music was playing in each scene, because that's something I like to do with. Similar thing with Frances Ha. I am.
Where's that in your top 10, Frances Ha?
9.
Okay. Can I just get your top 10? I'm so curious.
Absolutely. So my number 1 favorite movie of all time is Billy Madison.
A film I have never seen, but was desperate to try and be an extra in the sequel.
Me as well. Number 2, I think that you're also thinking of Happy Gilmore.
I am.
Number 2 is No Country for Old Men.
That I did know.
Number 3 is Overboard. Number 4 is Blues Brothers. Number 5 is Notting Hill. Number 6 is Jackie, the Natalie Portman biopic of Jackie Onassis Kennedy.
That's fascinating.
I know. I contain multitude.
Well, it's also fascinating because that was widely badly received. I'm so interested to hear why you like it so much.
It is so good and creepy and beautiful and good. Number 7 is When Harry Met Sally. Number 8 is Thoroughbreds.
Great film.
Number 9 is Frances Ha. And number 10 is a French horror film called Raw, which is about cannibalism. And those are my top 10 favorite movies. Number 11 is Practical Magic. Number 12 is Kiki's Delivery Service, a movie that you and I have seen together. Number 13 is probably Basketball, an early outing by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, but actually written by Jerry Zucker. Number 15 is the musical Funny Face, starring Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire.
Great film.
And then from there, I think I'll kind of tell. I'm not sure what number 15 would be. It's probably either Chicago, the musical, or perhaps another horror movie, although I'm not sure. Oh, no, Armageddon. Duh. Yeah, number 15 is Armageddon.
I love that. You do truly contain multitudes. That is...
Big on those multitudes, baby.
This line never works on stage, but sometimes I'll say it anyway. It's like, you'll say, I contain multitudes, and then people will be upset when you act different.
It's so true. People, like, I don't know. It's like, the container of Planters mixed nuts clearly has nuts in it. So, like, why are you mad that you read that label and then had an allergic reaction? Another way of saying I contain multitudes is saying I'm nuts.
Yeah, it's true. I'm mixed nuts. Mixed nuts. That's a movie too. Can't remember anything else about it. I feel like sometimes with these things, I go through the plot of the film, but basically the plot of the film is like these two people meet and then they don't like each other, then they like each other, then they like each other more, then they don't like each other, then they like each other again, and they fall in love.
And then they fell in love.
And then they fall in love.
And then 3 months later, they were married. It only took 3 months. 12 years and 3 months, to quote the last page of the script.
Do you have a favorite scene?
So the best scene in the movie, while not my favorite, the best scene in the movie is the one, and this goes against all conventional screenwriting rules, which is something that I was talking about when we watched it last night. But the best scene in the whole movie
It's really CGI a dinosaur in the middle, like Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like,
When Harry Met Sally, special edition.
Limited edition steelbook.
Yes.
Steelbook. You can only get it at Barnes & Noble.
You just see Carrie Fisher saying McClunky anyway.
Okay, so Bruno Kirby and Billy Crystal, as their characters, are at a Giants and
Yes.
and what's happening is they're and they what? No, it wasn't. It was a short line. I noted it in the script. Cut that out.
Fucking men trying to explain romantic comedies.
Do the Cowboys have a lion on the helmet somewhere?
Damn, got his ass.
So, Billy Crystal and Bruno Kirby are at a Giants game, the football kind, not the baseball kind, thank God. And they are very much telling, not showing, in that Harry is telling the story of how his recently estranged wife, Helen, left him. And while they're telling this story, while he's explaining this to his friend Jess, they are doing the wave. And so it's very cool in the script. You can see, like, it's really funny in the screenplay because it's like you get through like 100 words and then they all do the wave. And it's just 20 more words, a little bit back and forth. They all do the wave again. And it's so funny and it's compact and it's really good. My favorite scene, however, so that's the best scene in the movie.
I would like to talk a little bit about that scene, if I may, while we're on it. Okay, so that, I think, if I remember correctly, was the first scene Rob Reiner thought of.
It might be the first scene that Rob Reiner thought of. Nora Ephron originated the project, and so that would have been one of the first things that he or Andrew Scheinman, I think, was the other co-producer, would have brought to it. But that sounds correct.
Yeah. From my understanding, the way the script came together was like Rob, along with the other producers, were like, we want this thing. And then it was Reiner who quite cleverly was like, well, we can write all the guy stuff. I have no idea what a woman thinks.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, the other thing was like he had all these sketch ideas because he was a sketch writer first, and that was one of the gags, which is to your point with the screenwriting, like show don't tell. It's because it's a joke. It's not. It's a sketch. It's not a scene in a movie. It's a sketch.
Zero.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I remember off of it from a podcast I listened to a year ago. So I could absolutely be wrong.
Yep. Let's see
What the book says.
Laura has to say. I am reading it. I had an initial idea that was like a different movie that did not interest her at all, and she could not tell why they would have thought of me in connection with it. But then they started talking about Rob's divorce, and they started talking about being a bachelor and trying to get married. When the lunch ended, they didn't have an idea for a movie, but they decided they wanted to start getting lunch together regularly, which was very funny.
That's so good.
And basically, over the course of like these lunches, they were talking just about the nature of like, can men and women be friends, and making the deliberate decision not to have sex because sex ruins everything. And so that's where the idea was, just friends hanging out. This is a PSA to all of you listening to this. Go hang out with your friends, because what if you accidentally write one of my my seventh favorite movie of all time? What happened to you?
What is largely hailed as the like Rosetta Stone for a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
So your favorite scene?
So my favorite scene is the Sorry with the Friends on Top scene. This scene is everything. A fifth helmet with a fan in it. Karaoke. Ira. That's the three things I want in a scene. Public humiliation. The shark for dinner. R.I.P. People singing a song about horses.
The way she goes, it's my singing voice, and the way he zones out, it's so good performance-wise.
And he does this, and their eyes will pop, and he holds his eye open, and he's holding his eye open.
So scary.
So funny. And it's so, it's exactly how I behave in public.
Yes, as someone who's been in public with you, yes. Inside you, there are two wolves. One is Harry and one is Sally.
They're in love.
They're in love.
Yell at each other.
I gotta say, my favorite scene, gosh, I think it's the wave scene. I think that's the funniest thing. It makes me go nuts every time. But I think honestly, it's the scene in the park.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. But I will say my favorite line from the scene, from the film, is when Carrie turns to what is his name, Jess?
Yeah.
He goes, I will never ask for that table.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it's so soulful.
Wagon wheel table.
So...
When we were watching that last night, there was a moment where I was like, this influenced me. Like,
yeah.
of that line throughout something like multiple conversations I've had over time.
I think about that like when you revisit a film that was so informative when you were younger, right? Because I will often, when I'm incredulous, will do the exact cadence of Chessie from The Parent Trap saying, I gave you a fright. And I was like, that just sticks with you. I don't know what to tell you.
I've heard it.
I think for me, this is a good transitionary minute to just talk about Carrie and how good she is in this. I think she's so good.
For those of you listening who don't know, when Carrie Fisher died, she her ghost went through Tristan and left some crumbs, and now goes on inside of them. Tristan is beautiful with Carrie Fisher ghost crumbs, and it's delicious.
You know, that's fair. I think I was talking with Chelsea, my friend Chelsea, about David Lynch dying. One of the reasons that one is so hard is, yeah, I think, a lot of his art is good or whatever. A lot of it I don't like. Hot take, think Mulholland Drive is bad. And I will cause everyone to scream at me because of this. I hate Lost Highway. I've only seen it once. I should see it again. But I do love the idea of getting a headache so bad you turn into another person, because I feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But it does. It happens. Yeah. You, when you're hungry, have a Snickers. Okay, I gotta remember that too. I'm so sorry. I have to write that down to make a little meme for myself later. When I find a pen, it's fine. Anyway.
Put it down and remember you.
Thank you. When David died, it was really difficult because I liked David. I didn't like his stuff. In fact, when I was first introduced to David, it was through his weather reports in 2020. And so then when I watched like Blue Velvet, I was like, that nice old man made this? That's crazy.
Tristan, this is the funniest thing I've heard you ever say.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No offense to your jokes, but
None taken.
so funny.
And similarly, when I was talking to Chelsea about this, it's like what made Carrie dying so hard is I liked Carrie. I didn't like, Princess Leia was fine, but I liked Carrie. And this was the reason. I was like, yeah, she's so good in Harry Met Sally. And also in another one of your favorite movies, Blues Brothers.
I know. Yeah, she is truly the blueprint, or the blues print, some would say.
Mm-hmm.
Blood. Yeah, she is phenomenal in this. And it's not even a B story. It's not even developed enough to be a B story, but her Marie's affair with Arthur that takes up the first third of the movie before she ends up with Jess. And the continued refrain. The thing I like, maybe the reason I see a lot of Sally Albright and myself, is that anytime that Marie brings up her affair with this married man, Arthur, all Sally says is he's never going to leave her. That is the only thing he says. And damn it, my life isn't picking one piece of and telling it to my most beautiful yet problematic friend over and over and over and over and over and over for 47 pages until they sleep with one of my friends. I see how art can imitate life.
My favorite is like, that's so true. Number one, that is so true. And then also I really love the last time Marie says it, she says it, she goes, and she realizes it, and it's like, okay, I gotta stop this.
Of course he is what Sally says.
Yeah.
And it's such a small, I mean, it's a B story that's contained in 2 lines of dialogue at a time. It's so good, so compact. And so then by the time we get to this scene where Jess and Marie meet and are clearly just forked up for each other, you're so happy for both of them. You're like, hell yeah. Now Jess can get rid of some of his weird sexual aggression that he has to take out at the batting cages. And now Arthur and his wife can just do their whole own thing and we can be free of that nonsense.
Yeah. And the scene where she has the Rolodex is so good. When they're in Central Park. She's so funny. And what I think, maybe she does get enough credit for it, but she's such an earnest actor, despite being so sardonic all the time. She's just so warm throughout this whole thing. Where, I don't know, she's a very special performer.
The scene where after Harry and Sally have slept together and the
telephone.
Jess and Marie, who are on their own lines in their bed, which is so 80s, 90s perfect. It's so good because even though we, from the get-go, that scene is in itself a book. That 4-way call, them, Jess and Marie both saying variations of the same thing, eventually accidentally saying, we want to come over for breakfast simultaneously. And we know that when they hang up, it's going to be like, oh, we just barely got through that one. But you're so right in that Carrie is so earnest in her support of Sally and like
Hmm.
so so good at kind of amending and like flexing to fit like what she thinks her friend needs. And it's just
Hmm.
like a good honest representation of what friendship is and can be.
Hmm.
Um, and it's so cool to see that even when we know like when we call our friends and we know we're being crazy and we know that later they're going to bring up how fucking crazy we're being. But we also know that in that moment, they're not going to say a damn thing about how crazy we're being. And I think that Carrie Fisher does such a good job in that scene of being a good friend who later is going to be like, you remember? You remember that time you were crazy?
What did she say after to Jess?
Promise me I'll never have to go out there again.
Yeah, that. Ugh, that's so good. I think it does also do a really good job of portraying like how stilted and awkward male friendships are in a way that like I hadn't been I kind of forsworn the company of men for the last few years of my life and recently have been hanging out with more dudes and I forget like the batting cage sequence is so indicative of like there always has to be something going on. You can't just sit and talk and it's like why are we like this?
You have to do an activity.
Yeah. What does Billy say? He goes like I have a pocket full of quarters and all
Yeah,
day or
and I got here before you because he's talking to that
yeah,
little
yeah, the little kid.
and when the kid's like, "You're a jerk," if Billy Crystal calls him a creep, he's like, "Get out of here, you creep!"
It's so good. Um,
But
yeah.
really quick, speaking of Billy Crystal and children, dear listeners, this isn't going anywhere scary, I promise. So I want to bring up that when they filmed this movie, Meg Ryan was 28, Billy Crystal was 41, which means in the first scene when Billy, or at least when it came out, that's how old they were. So I think he would have been like 39, 40.
That's
So in the first
embarrassing.
scene, they really Ben platted him. They really been he's handsome. And they just put him in a horrible wig and said, "You're a little boy, you're 21. You just graduated from University of Chicago and you have your whole life ahead of you." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, pal. Go ahead and give me that rug." Um,
Ugh.
it's extremely funny.
He looks like the opposite of three kids in a trench coat, you know?
Yes. He's a third of a kid in a trench coat.
He's a third of a kid in a fedora, and it just is so embarrassing and so silly and so indicative of how like people view men aging and women aging, I think. Because like there's no way if you did that with like a woman, I'm trying to think of like a woman in their middle age now trying to
The hair story that Sally goes through is really
oh
interesting.
yeah.
As in the opening scene, when we have young Billy Crystal, and I think that Billy Crystal was born looking like that. I
That's the
think
thing.
Billy Crystal has never been carded in his life.
I will say this to the film's credit, having seen images of young Billy Crystal, he has always looked 50 until recently when he started looking 1,000. So, like, you know, to be fair, that is what he looked like when he was
Always
25.
looks like that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of like Steve Martin, like that.
yeah, yeah. The man could have left his kindergarten classroom to go rent a car and drive himself. Sally, on the other hand, we get Meg Ryan. She has, first of all, you can tell she's a young person in the first scene because she has horrible blue eyeshadow, which I love recreating every day,
Hmm.
every time I get a chance.
She's also squinting in a way that I think is so funny.
Well, it's like her eyelids are heavy from how much eyeshadow she has. And she also has these incredible, like, not clip-in extensions, but like, you can tell that Meg Ryan has never like willingly worn her hair that long in her life. And then when we see her again, when she's 26 years old, and she can't even remember the name of the girl she was such good friends with that she didn't make it with her boyfriend, uh, Amanda, Amanda Reese. She has a short bob haircut to show that she's a
Hmm.
serious businesswoman now.
Hmm.
And then, by the time she's 30, she has the hair that she looks good with, which is truthfully the only thing I pray for all of my friends is that by the time they're 30, they know what hair they look good with and they just keep
Hmm.
it. And then she has that hair. We never see them get breakup hair, which I think is really interesting. Um,
Hmm.
like at no point do we see either of them with like an asinine haircut. They both have good hair the whole movie, which I think is, I mean, as good hair as, no offense, Billy Crystal.
I was gonna say that's very generous to William Crystal.
William Crystal.
William Crystal Light.
Crystal.
Do you remember in Fairly Odd Parents the character Billy Crystal Ball?
Yes, I do.
That's all.
In their sentence.
Oh. That's true. They don't do like she never gets like bangs or whatever.
Yeah, she always has good hair.
I would say as well, like obviously this movie makes me cry for so many reasons. But it's just so for me relatable where she's like not bothered by her breakup. And then when he's getting married, she goes to pieces. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what does it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who up until recently, no one wanted to marry. Those of you listening at home, I recently got engaged, which means the curse is broken. Godspeed. We are all free to live in the light of the Lord. Yeah, no, it's very much that sense of rejection. And it's I do like too that their breakups are very different. And also that everyone telling Sally, like, you seem really good, you seem really healthy, you seem like you're doing really good with it. And she's like, yeah, thanks, I am. And then when she's not, it hits her like a bus. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, also how I experience every emotion. Is I'm completely and totally fine until, oops, I wasn't looking, and that is a city bus. What is it doing this far north?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can agree with that to a certain extent. I feel like when I was watching the film as well, I'm like, oh, Sally truly is like the blueprint for me of like, oh, this is a kind of woman I do like gravitate towards in various aspects of my life. Of like, I love someone who is uptight. But the thing is, what is so beautiful about it is like, obviously, it's a classic odd couple where like he's literally when we meet him, the gag of him not knowing the window is up and him spitting grape seeds just straight into the window, not wiping it down, just rolling down the way is so perfect. But the cost of like having someone in your life who's like a little bit more uptight like that is that they're generally emotionally repressed, and that can make things difficult, and vice versa, where like if you have someone who's more laid back a lot of the time, it's like, oh well, then they're just gonna say how they feel and don't care, which is like, I don't know, it's
Yeah, I think it's more
tricky.
if you have someone who is the Harry to your Sally, I think the Harry is much more likely to get into a situation or perhaps a scenario. Like for example, crying because a Big Ten school was mentioned, is a great example of that first date that he goes on, and he like has a panic attack because he went to a different school than his ex-wife.
And still sleeps with her, which is just deplorable. I think what's so funny about I he's such a dick. He's just the worst. He's such a dickhead. And he's not like a bad guy, but he's just a dickhead. You know what I mean? And I love that. I think that's so funny, but also it does kind of like we don't often really see the flaws with Sally, which I think is probably good in as much as comedies up until this point, women were probably portrayed as like annoying.
It's bold of you to imply that she's not annoying. Or
I mean, I guess maybe it's also the thing I just said that like this is a kind of woman that I like find appealing.
one thing that I think is really interesting, which I think like to your point, is that I think Meg Ryan makes interesting choices as an actor, and I'm not saying interesting in like
The Midwest sense.
and like the way that I called my landlord's email earlier today, an interesting. Not in like the disparaging and also this is going in my files way. But specifically, like when you look at some of the stage directions throughout the script.
Mm.
I highly recommend doing. There's a moment where uh, when Harry and Sally are first becoming friends, and Harry says, "Great, a woman friend. You know, you may be the first attractive woman I've not wanted to sleep with my entire life." So, like, right preceding that,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a stage direction where when Sally says, "Would you like to have dinner sometime?" Um, Harry says, "Are we becoming friends now?" And the
Mm-hmm.
note on Sally's, like the dialogue tag, is, "This is not what she meant." And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think on a first watch, I don't think that that emotion plays like extremely on the surface in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think just goes to what you're saying about her being really repressed. I think that Meg Ryan plays this role with such an amount of precision and as someone who's like continually monitored by those around her and so feels the need to monitor her own emotions that a lot of the things that would in a different rom-com be like an outsized reaction are just so meticulously plated, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
Um, I think that in some ways, Sally the character as written is very different from Sally the character as acted. But I
Mm-hmm.
also think a lot of that is probably in service to letting Billy Crystal be the version of Harry that he is.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is, I don't know, it's interesting. I'm interested to know how much of Meg Ryan's performance is in response to Billy Crystal's versus how much is how she interprets the character as she was written.
Whew.
Which is a lot. Sorry. I know I just
No, no, no. I'm just like thinking about it.
thinking about this.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that's always the hmm?
there's so many colored post-its in this book. Constantly highlighting it.
Sure, yeah. I mean that makes sense. I mean that's always casting, isn't it? Because, no matter how it's written, the minute you are put in a room with another actor, your energy feeds off there. That moment specifically that you bring up, that caught my eye this watch as well. And admittedly, I haven't seen this film for years. But yeah, all she does is look to the left.
Yeah.
That's all she does. It's simple. And you can tell she went, oh, and then like, and we've all had an interaction where you're like, hey, do you want to get a cup of coffee? And someone's like, yeah, that'd be great. And you can tell that they think it's something else.
Yeah. And it's just so tiny.
And it's so tiny. And I think Sally is, as a character, just so tightly wound. And I guess I think it's also this. I think, frankly, it's a bit of sexism on my part where I'm willing to go, well, women can't be bad. And I think that's my own it's my own problem of growing up Protestant, and that's.
That's actually true, though. We can't be bad or do anything wrong. So I think one thing about this movie I like is that it shows women are good all the time and never have flaws.
Yeah, truly. Which, admittedly as well, like she is like a pain in the ass, ordering everything on the side and whatnot. But I guess for me, that's only a pain in the ass if you this is gonna sound so corny. If you love yourself more than the person you're with, you know what I mean? Like it's only a pain in the ass if you hate your partner. I don't know, it's like it's just not that big of a deal.
It's not hard to bring the sauce on the side.
It's not hard, but I guess the thing is, having been in relationships with people who are emotionally repressed, that's really hard because you want to have a conversation and you can't, and that's hard to deal with. And I feel like Sally probably has that streak in her, but we don't really see it much.
Well, and sorry, my clock's meowing.
I can't hear it.
I mean, a thing that really stands out to me with like the Sally characterization of it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich
Hmm.
is that Sally is asking for exactly what she wants. And so the real foil to that in the story is Marie, who doesn't, won't, and can't ask what she wants, which is for Arthur to leave his wife. She does these grand, literally plotting and scheming, right? These huge gestures that she plots and stages that never come to fruition because she's a woman who refuses to ask for what she wants. And then we have Sally, who is unabashed in saying, like, yeah, I want the coleslaw on the side and I want the pie heated up unless you don't have ice cream. Like, she has no problem asking for what she wants. And other people, I think, see that as alarming, especially because she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she asks for what she wants and expects to receive it is,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the time of like the time frame of this movie, something that is in some ways unusual.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's interesting that you say that because I do agree with it, but she doesn't do it when she meets Harry. She doesn't like force the issue, which I think is so interesting.
Yeah.
Why? They're both making compromises. Why?
And how much of it is because of like their respective background with each other? And like,
Mm-hmm.
when I think that the time gaps do a lot of the story for us.
Mm-hmm.
5 years go by, they meet again, another 5 years go by. Because in 5 years, without seeing or speaking to someone, your conceived notions about them can really morph and change. And oftentimes, those notions about them might change in a way that person hasn't changed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're always surprised when it's like, wait, that girl I went to school with is super buff now and drives a motorcycle. I never would have guessed. Like,
Yeah.
people very rarely behave in the way that we expect them to.
Yeah. It makes
I mean,
nuts.
how surprised Sally is first when she finds out that Harry is getting married to Helen, and then
Yeah.
how genuinely surprised she is again to find out he's getting divorced. Like, he didn't
Mm-hmm.
expect either of those.
True,
Uh,
true.
and so, she really is going into this with kind of having to question what she thinks she knows about Harry. So that could have something to do with it and why her behavior is different than what we've come to expect from her in other situations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, going back to something that I was thinking about earlier, Mixed Nuts is another Nora Ephron movie. That's why it's thinking about Mixed Nuts. There we go. That's all. Thinking about Mixed Nuts. But yeah, I agree. I think that the time jumps are important as well. And because it's also like, it's so much nicer than it like, because sometimes life's weird that way too. And like, I don't know. It's just like, really, that's, I think, the most beautiful part of it is that it takes so much time. I was also reminded of a line that I really love, and I would love to know your favorite line because obviously I mentioned the coffee table one, but the another great line, and again it's from Carrie, is "Someone is staring at you in personal growth." Really good, double entendre. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a that is up there, and it's something that my friend Chloe, friend Chloe Brooks, friend of the pod, she and I both love this movie, and that line specifically we reference to each other very often as two girls who love book, girls who love to read book. Um, that's a great one, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the way he's crouched behind the shelf.
It's so funny. I'll say this: Billy Crystal really funny in this movie.
That's true.
Really funny. I know he's like known for being funny, but I think from what I recall as well, he was seen as kind of a risk casting in this because number one, he's not conventionally a leading man. And also the kind of comedy he was known for was like big slapstick impressions, that sort of thing. And this is like a really grounded performance from him, which is now so funny because it's so totemic and as to his career. So I think this movie has a problem, and it's the same problem that Star Wars: The Last Jedi has. In as much as not enough Carrie Fisher, no. In as much as a
Not enough lightsaber.
yeah, no clashing of lightsabers in it. I think the problem this has is that one character has a line that people think is the thesis of the movie, but isn't.
Ooh.
Which is like in Last Jedi, Kylo Ren says, what is it? Something, what is it? Destroy the past, kill it if you have to.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's like, this is Ryan Johnson saying, fuck your Star Wars. And it's like, no, the bad guy says it. So he's probably checks note wrong. And this movie has, well, what men and women can't be friends, which is, I don't think the thesis of the film. I think it's like part of it, but like, I think that's not the point of it.
my favorite line, and what I think could also serve as the thesis, I think is best illuminated by the part of the movie that I think a lot of people either forget about or don't think of as central to the movie, which is the interviews. I say interviews
Yes.
because they're scripted, they're not real, but they are based off of true stories, but
Yes.
they are actors. But the quote unquote interviews in between various scenes, which are with up until we see Harry and Sally in their interview, are all elderly couples. Are you gonna cry?
Yeah, I love love. I'm sorry. I just thinking
Oh, they're all
about.
so good. Me and Miles were both tearing up and like, this is the fuck up, man. They're so in love. Um, but all of those love stories are by these elderly people were about how those couples got together. And in
Mhm.
some cases, it was people who had been born in the same hospital a week apart and lived in the same building and then didn't meet each other until, 35 years later. And some it was people who had been together since they were camp counselors on Long Island together, in their teens. And some it was people who had left and then found their way back to each other. But the real thesis of all of those and the real thesis of the movie is the best line in the movie, which is when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. And there's 1,000 jumping off points before the last New Year's Eve scene in
Mhm.
this. That could have been a relationship. And it's not the only thing that's special about that moment when they get together is that one of them did something. One of them said how they felt, as opposed to letting the notions of how they were supposed to feel or supposed to act stand in the way. And that's true of all of the love stories in this movie when Jess and Marie get into the cab together. In all of them, and all of the elderly people, like the only thing that separates a love realized from a love left to die is action. And that's the thesis. That's what the movie is about. And that's what the movie means. You don't get the happy ending by waiting. You get the happy ending by doing.
Mhm.
And uh I think that's influenced me in areas of my life.
I should say so. Yeah.
Do you agree?
Um. Yeah, I think so. I think that's definitely, and I think a continuation of that point is when you want to spend the rest of your life with someone. I think it's interesting as well because that can be friendship too. Like,
Yeah.
because Sally and Marie are going to be friends for the rest of their life, or Jess and Harry, unless something stupid happens. But but yeah, I do think it is like when you want something like that, you do have to go for it. And I think, whereas like the other thing is like I think this was pointed out to me by someone who I don't like. Sometimes someone you hate has a good opinion about a film you love, and it's that they're both friends and they're meant to be together.
Yeah.
The
Two things
reason they're go ahead.
two things can be true.
Yeah. The reason their relationship works is because they are friends first.
Yeah.
I feel like the same person was like the ideal is like to be friends with someone for 10 years and then realize you're in love. And I'm like, yeah, sure. That sounds great. We're dating now and have known each other for like a year though. So what does that say about this situation? Cool, dude. Sick. But yeah, I think yeah, I very much agree with that. How good is the fight at the wedding too, as well?
Oh man. So that dress, her bridesmaid's
Oh
dress,
my god,
my favorite
I'm so sorry.
my favorite dress of all time. It is my favorite dress in this or any film. I think of it.
Oh,
I have like 80 photos of it on my phone, and I just look at them. I just look at
good. It's a
them.
great dress.
And the fight is so good. Especially because I think the thing that really does it for me is Sally is trying, and it's so funny. It's so funny. Sally's trying so hard to give him the cold shoulder, but not in like the mature, I'm not making drama at our friend's wedding way.
Hmm.
Cold shoulder and the um extremely mean bitchy way. You know,
Yes.
the first full sentence she says to him is a lot of suicides. Like she's here to make friends. She is here for all the wrong reasons. Um,
God, this movie is good.
so,
Oh, oh,
and storming out into the kitchen in order to not make a scene. Everyone in the kitchen promptly going, "What's going on?" Like turning their heads to be like, "Uh-oh,
hmm.
Billy Crystal's in here now, guys." Holy shit.
Watch out, he'll sing.
Ugh.
If you don't behave, he'll do his Muhammad Ali. Have you seen that clip of him going, "This is Muhammad Ali if he converted to Judaism instead of Muslim, instead of Islam"? It goes, "I am the greatest of all time," and it's good. It's a good bit.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that, and then them coming out and then being thanked at that moment is so good.
There's a little
Perfect.
fanfare. The band goes, "Burr, burr," and then they're like, "Hey, look."
Oh gosh. Um, I feel like the only other big set piece we haven't talked about is the thing that is now a Super Bowl commercial, apparently. Um,
Which one of my friend John Ross is in. A friend-in-law, I guess. He and Miles uh, know each other from the season Petty Crime. And John Ross is in a Super Bowl commercial sitting
mm,
with Meg Ryan. He turns and looks and yeah.
a
Yes,
friend
but
of mine is in a Super Bowl commercial with the Muppets, so look at our friends go.
does anyone come in that one?
No, unfortunately. Well, just me when I saw Kermit playing the banjo.
Awesome.
Miss Piggy is in a bikini in it, and so hachi machi.
Um,
Have you seen the Muppet version of this?
no, that's really good.
It's a sneeze. She's pretending to. You've never heard someone fake a sneeze?
I can't,
I'll send it to you.
can't do it.
It's
Okay,
with Billy.
the fun fact, the you might already know this actually, but the I'll have what she's having. Estelle Reiner, Rob Reiner's
Mm-hmm.
mother,
Mm-hmm.
Carl Reiner's wife,
Yep.
and
Uh,
of course that is a Billy Crystal pitched line. He brought that to
which is a
the film, which doesn't surprise me at all.
great. It's a very good line. I Going back to when I first, the beginning of this podcast, when I said I saw this when I was 10.
Mhm.
This scene is not cut out.
No.
So
Your mother never should have trusted the FCC that way.
surely not. And it was one of those things where, I think my parents are kind of, she's probably listening to this episode, which is so funny because she was like, "Let me know when it's out." I'm like, "I don't know if you want to hear what I have to say."
Does too. She
Yeah,
does.
no, she might just be embarrassed that she let me watch a movie with cum in it.
No, and here's why. Because there was no cum in this
It's
movie.
faked.
The fake cum. And it's very good. I think everyone early on in their lives should learn how to tell a fake orgasm. First of all, if there's any deli meat around, that's your sign.
Number one, if there's pastrami nearby. I also feel like, I think it was, not to get too personal, but knowing that that was a possibility from a very early age set me straight, shall we say?
Yes, that's what it did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Knowing that I had an out from an early age. No, like I said, I was not. When I saw this movie for the first time,
Mhm.
I was no longer sheltered, but I was very self-censoring.
Mhm.
And I do know that in my, fledgling post-pubescence, I was very much like, now why would anyone want to fake something that's so easy to do for real? I was like, wow, perhaps I'm not like other girls.
very funny.
I'm built different. I'm built for time.
Congrats. Good for everyone. It's good for the economy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hurts nobody.
Yeah. But I will say too, I have had that reaction while eating a particularly good sandwich.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's the best part is how messy her hair is when she just goes back to eating her diddle.
Yeah. I think also when I say this, Sally in general was formative for me. I feel like this might have something to do with seeing that sequence on it earlier, going, now this is compelling for some reason. Can't quite put my finger on it, but
I also, from an acting perspective, where that would be like knowing you as an actor, I can also see where the extremely dramatic public display immediately going back to normal behavior. I can see where that might have been something that imprinted on the Tristan J. Miller psyche
yeah,
at the age, perhaps.
I would say as well. It's unlocking a memory, and it is that we had the DVD, and I watched the behind the scenes stuff a lot. And either they talk about it, but I think they have the takes as well, because they were like, obviously on the day, they're like, how big should it be?
Yeah.
And it kept like, and I think what it came down to was the direction is like, kind of just do it for real if you were going to fake it. Because it's the perfect amount of like, it's funny, it's uncomfortable, but it's also realistic, but it's not like a gag. It's not like, have you seen Fish Called Wanda? When Kevin Kline busts a nut in that movie and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Whereas the story behind that was like, they were like, Kevin, go crazy. And he's like, we're not going to use any of this. And my God, they used all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that
just silly one.
Exactly. Just what I'm gonna say from now on.
Hi, Tristan's mom.
Hi. She doesn't subscribe to that. Anyway, no, but I do think that like I think it's perfect pitch, and I love that like it starts off and a couple people are looking like that's weird. And then by the fact that like everyone's looking by the end is so funny, but the fact that like immediately people are like, what's going on with her? And I love that Billy doesn't realize it right away. And then when he does, he's like, okay. And then it goes on for like 30 more seconds than he thought it would. And he gets embarrassed, and it's so good.
It's a perfect New York reaction, because the moment it's over, everyone's like, okay, whatever. Like, must suck to be that guy who's with that crazy lady. Could I get some more mayonnaise, please? Like it just, everyone immediately is like, okay. And everyone does, in true New York fashion, stop and like look to be like, what's going on? But at no point does anyone think like, this woman is clearly having a medical issue. They're all like,
does anyone know the Heimlich? Yeah.
No, they're just like, is it done? No. Good. Anyway.
Which is also how New Yorkers react to.
Yes. Yeah. Like, it's truly just like, let me get back to my conversation about this bitch at work. Like,
just, how I think New Yorkers come as well. I think that is. Yeah. They're like, okay, well.
Shut up.
Yeah, truly.
I've got stocks and bonds to trade.
I did have a moment where like I was watching this and I go, oh, I live here, which is so weird to like think about. Like there's that scene where she gets dropped off at Washington Square.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a stone's throw away that when I go to work. That's so weird to think about. I've still never been to the Empire State Building though.
Well,
what can you do?
Go there.
Yeah, that's true. I honestly would be so scared up there. I'm so scared of heights. I hate elevators.
You don't have to go outside. You can go inside.
So high up. I like to be underground.
You like to go airplane New Zealand, but you scared of tall buildings on the ground?
Oh, well, at a certain point, airplane, not my problem.
You know what's also not your problem? If the Empire State Building, if you find a way to fall out of the Empire State Building, I will take my words back. However,
Oh, how much money do I win?
you know what? $85,000.
Okay. A parachute is $10. Net profit.
Here's the thing. I think you need to buy your parachute somewhere else.
Oh, Hattie, don't get it twisted. I'm making the parachute.
Oh, well, that changes everything.
It's a tarp and duct tape. But yeah, oh, right, of course. So this is an anecdote that is secondhand. It's really third hand. Like much like Lions, it is secondhand.
Wow.
I think about that every time every time I hold a knife, because it's that scene where is it John Voight?
I want you to just, I don't remember which
Anyway.
one, but I want you to know every moment of that sentence was an insane thrill ride for me. Every
Sure.
time I hold a knife, I think of secondhand lion.
Yeah, I
Either
think so.
not holding knives enough or thinking of secondhand lions far too much. You and I live drastically different lives.
Well, there's that scene where he's like, well, you don't want to stab someone like in Psycho because you can only do it the one way. You want to hold it the right way so you can slash and stab and like. And so every time I hold a knife, I think, all right, I have to hold it not like in Psycho. And I'm like, I'm just cutting carrots
Yeah, I'm like, what are you using your knife?
in the kitchen the way it should be used.
I was like, there's a lot of reasons to hold a knife properly that aren't related to not stabbing like in Psycho. But functionality being the primary one at play in this instance. But who am I to judge your lifestyle choices, Tristan?
I hold the knife, then I do it Psycho style, then I go, no, no, no.
No. Hold a knife. Where is my knife? I think of that clip of Ed Asner going, "Hi,
Oh,
I'm Ed Asner," opening his knife.
Yes, switchblade.
Can you please edit the podcast so that clip plays right here?
Yeah, I will do my best. That's from
Ed Asner.
when he died. That's the only clip I posted. And it's from a documentary. I don't know if you've seen it, called "I Know That Voice."
No, I did not.
It's about voice
Okay.
acting.
So, where does the knife come into play?
I'll say this: the context you have for it now is the context is given in the documentary. He says, "Hi, I'm Ed Asner," and then he does it, and then they just cut to something else, to a clip from Up, and then it cuts back to him and goes, "When I'm doing voice acting, blah blah blah." It's so good. Ed,
I assumed that our poor old boy Ed was out here on the Mary Tyler Moore Show Drive at spinoffs. He was out here chilling Cutco, and he was like, "Well, rather than dragging my beautiful old ass to your local Costco or Whole Foods, I'm just going to do the demonstration here at home and hope that it reaches the millions of Americans who still treasure me and wish that I was their sweet papa." And then like disseminated that video through the airwaves and sold knives. But no, that he was just like that
he just
only reinforces great admiration and love I have for Mr. Grant.
He was so funny. He's really good. Did a lot of voice work. Also, I'd recommend. I know you have a hard time listening to podcasts in long chunks, but his conversation with Mark Maron is very good. But he is in two of my favorite video games. He plays a Jedi Knight in Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. It's crazy. Which is how I was introduced to him. Again.
Really, I think it's so funny that you're the one who grew up in and around the greater Twin Cities area, but I'm the one who grew up with every episode of Mary Tyler Moore on VHS.
Well, let me...
How'd that happen? Were we at birth? Are we the Parent Trap?
Yeah, I think so. I gave you a fright? I think I should rephrase. The way I knew it was Ed Asner is I was playing the video game and my dad walks by, hears and goes, "Is that Ed Asner?" And I go, "Yeah."
There it is.
And I
There's the
go, "Yeah, it is."
that's the Northern Prairie states I was looking for.
Is that Ed Asner? And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "From Mary Tyler Moore?" He goes, and I go, "Who does he play in Mary Tyler Moore?" And he's like, "He's the boss." I'm like, "Oh, that's so interesting." Boop, 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 boop. But this story is secondhand.
Okay. Oh
Much-
yeah. It's actually third hand, you said.
Mhm.
I'm like, what? Tristan has a third hand?
I do. It's the name I danced under. So boo, street joke, boo. One of my managers at work, her friend lived underneath Harry Connick Jr. when he was writing the music for this movie. So they would just hear "It Had to Be You" coming up like right below, and I'm like, what a beautiful thing.
Unless you are the person living there, in which case then you have a broom and you're like, you have to shut up instead? Some of us have real jobs. Oh, you think just because your daddy's Harry Connick Sr. that you're hot shit? Like, I would love somebody write that sketch of someone like living under someone composing yeah, my fucking neighbor Johnny Williams. He's just playing his little Jute score off for his freaking spaceships movie. Like, I would.
Two things. One, yes. Two, Steven Spielberg does call John Williams Johnny, which is crazy. Three,
That's funny.
the thing that came into my mind was Harry Connick Jr.'s, like Carl's Jr.'s. So it's like a themed Louisiana jazz restaurant.
And also, that's really good.
Hey, thanks.
I would eat there. I would eat there.
Okay, Harry Connick Jr.'s, yeah, for sure.
Rita's.
It's known as the Sinatra's in the northern states.
That's very fucking good.
Do you like Hardee's?
I like Hardee's.
Hardee's nuts. Womp womp womp.
I know where you live. I'm gonna your house. For those listeners of this podcast, let me be clear that that was Tristan, not you. I know you're trying to sleep.
Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. They're asleep.
Sleep better and safer once I've killed Tristan mercilessly.
It's true. Thank God. Someone please take me out of my misery. But was this your first introduction to Harry Connick Jr.? He's big in my family.
I wouldn't know. What else would I? Didn't he do what other rom-com would I be familiar? I feel like he did a Julia Roberts. Did he?
Probably. I know him from his mini Christmas albums.
And that's almost certainly where I know him from.
And then also he's the lead adult in Iron Giant.
Is not something I was able to watch as a child because it made me too upset. And I watched it as an adult, and then I had regrets about watching it. I was like, that was stupid. Why did I watch that thing? And it would break my entire head.
Yeah, it's a very sad movie. It's very good, but it's very sad, I will say.
It's not. In order to stop talking about the Iron Giant immediately, I am on his Wikipedia page. And it's extremely funny to see career. First is When Harry Met Sally, and second is mid-1990s. Funk. Like, I don't know that most of my I don't know that most of my 90s experience could be described as funk.
Mine could. I was running around a lot, and boy, did I stink. P.U.
Oh, he has a whole section of his Wikipedia that's about Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, he's from Louisiana.
Yeah. I mean, I like knew that, but I don't know. Does everyone from Louisiana have a section on their Wikipedia about how they reacted to Hurricane Katrina?
If they're famous, yeah. You could go to John Goodman or Randy Newman, and they probably have Hurricane Katrina there.
I love going to John Goodman.
I had this realization recently, and it made me come to terms with something about myself, which is nice. Is all of my favorite, despite being very much a northerner and like very proud to be from Minnesota, All of the music I like is from the South.
That's true.
And that's
That's,
just,
as someone who knows you, that's true.
and it's just like, okay, what does that say about me? And I think mostly what it says is I have good taste.
Yeah.
And then also that growing up in South Dakota, it's the South of the North. It's literally the South Dakota.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
two of
There's two of them.
them. I did not realize that he was instrumental, pun very intended, in the revival of the Pajama Game on Broadway. But more importantly, I absolutely saw him when he was on Sesame Street in 2004. Fun fact about me, I watched Sesame Street until I moved away to college. I kept up with Sesame Street. Like,
Sick.
it was like, oh, getting ready to drive myself to school. I better watch my Sesame Street. And look at me now. I know how to read so good.
Whereas I can't. I stopped watching it very early on.
Well,
So
we
maybe
all know
that's
what
why.
happened to you.
Yeah. I got dumber and dumber. I mean, I think I think it's because maybe perhaps there's less social pressure in some ways as an oldest, but as a youngest is like I didn't want to feel like a dumb little kid all the time. Whereas now that's all I want to feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, meanwhile, it's not like I had like friends to watch grown-up stuff with. I
Mm,
had to be talked into watching like the cool movies for teens.
aka Harry Met Sally.
Breakfast Club. I was like, I don't know. Seems like those teens might be sexually active, Mom. You probably shouldn't let me watch this.
What was the
I think
first?
I better just go watch C is for Cookie.
It's also what's so interesting about this movie about Harry Met Sally is it's rated R, right?
Yeah.
Because they say fuck a few times.
I think we have three. So we have Sally when she's yelling back at Harry saying, just because I won't fuck everybody.
Which is like I think the first time she says it and
It
it's
is.
like powerful.
We
I
have
was like,
that symptom is fucking my wife, which is the end of the Mr. Zero conversation. We say that infidelity is just a symptom. Yeah, well, that
that
symptom is
symptom's
fucking my
fucking
wife. And I think we get another Sally fuck. If we're lucky. Later in the film. I think maybe during the argument.
mm-hmm. But what's so interesting is despite there being like this big old orgasm scene in the middle of it, there's like not that much. It's very chaste. Like when they have sex, it fades to black.
Yeah, yeah. Just to confirm real quick, the third
Mhm.
fuck is a fuck you right before she slaps him, right before they burst out of the kitchen. But
Yes.
we fade to black for the sex scene, but then
Mhm.
we do get what I think personally is more obscene, which is Billy Crystal's long naked leg hanging off the bed, and I'm like,
Oh
get it out of here. Go, yuck, yuck, put it away. I hate that.
I
Like
mean,
cross covered by blanket, naked leg, like when you hit a spider and
yeah, you see the little leg on the side.
and like the leg detaches and it's stuck on the wall and then you have to pick it off. I don't kill spiders anymore. I befriend them, but back in the time of my life when I was still spiders, that's what Billy Crystal's naked sex leg makes me think of is dead
so
spiders.
In my mind, an image is coming into it, and it's of the leg lamp from A Christmas Story, but in that shot.
Ew.
Gross.
Yeah.
Bad. Um, I think it's really beautifully acted as well after they have sex, because like obviously there's that conversation earlier in the film where it's like how long do you
Yeah.
late before you have to leave before you
Where between 30 seconds and all night is your problem.
exactly so, and there's that moment where she goes, "Do you want to watch something?" Because he has like found her alphabetized
Yeah.
VHS
So,
tapes.
yes, she has index cards on which she
Mhm.
has alphabetized all of her VHS tapes, and she has the index cards in a little holder. One thing I want to point out
Mhm.
is I think that holder is actually intended to be for like phone numbers because it is
Yes.
the same plastic casing as her phone. It matches.
Mhm.
And I noticed that, and I'm like, those are meant to be part of a set, but they repurposed it in this prop. Like, it's something I had a very big reaction to. And also, for those of you at home who are listening to this and not viewing it, presuming that you're putting the video out there, I am holding my own index card box holder, but I do not use mine for VHS tapes. It's 2025. I instead use mine for an elaborate system of coding the tasks that I do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. No, I don't relate to Sally Albright. Why do you ask, Tristan?
I'll say this. Um, Number one, I find her very relatable also. Um, Also, I think what's interesting is number one, you are correct. It is meant for phone numbers because it's similar to the one that Marie pops out.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't think it's just they've repurposed a prop. I think it's to say that Sally's kind of a loser. Like she doesn't have like a bunch of phone numbers. She like likes having her videos organized and she watches a bunch of movies. Famously Casablanca.
Although that's on channel 11.
Yeah, I've never seen Casablanca either, which is crazy,
That's crazy.
right? All I know is, Rick, you gotta hide me, Rick. Um, but I think,
Arsenic and old lace voice there.
well, no, it's Peter Lorre.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm also. Yeah, she did.
Because it's the only reason, again, my absorption of pulp culture is so stupid and bad. Um,
I have great news for you about all other people ever. And pop culture as a whole.
but the reason I know Peter Lorre is, of course, because of Aladdin.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say about? Oh, right. That's the moment I think he knows he loves her,
Yeah.
and
And
it's
then
so nice.
I love her. Oh no, I love her.
And then he's like, "I gotta go."
Uh-oh, Raggy.
Yeah, which is like so typical.
Yeah.
So typical. Who among us has
Yeah.
not run away from love later to regret it?
Classic mix 'em up.
Is there anything else about this movie that you want to talk about before I get to the final question?
I don't believe so. One moment though. Hey, my birth control alarm's about to go off in the bedroom. When it does, will you make it stop? Please, thank you. Thank you. We may resume. I just didn't want the Kill Bill theme to come in because movies to fall asleep to, and when my birth control alarm goes off and it's the Kill Bill theme, well, let's just say people won't be sleeping because they're gonna be frightened. I'm gonna give them a fright.
Can I talk about getting a fright a little bit?
Yeah.
And this is again a secondhand story from Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords fame. When he was doing Men in Black 3, he's the villain in it. Picture. He's
Much like in Gentlemen Broncos.
He's fantastic in it. And there's this scene where he's got these big goggles on as part of the character, and there's a door that bursts open, and the person was like, "Hey, you have to hit this mark because it'll hit you in the face." And the dude wouldn't take any fucking flinches. And they go, "What was that?" And it was, it's just, got a bit of a fright. And everyone it's an American crew, so they're all like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And he just hears Will Smith go, "Oh, what? It gave you a fright?" And every time for the rest of the shoot, it's like, "Are you okay? You got a bit of a fright?" And
I really like to think that Will Smith, of course, was just quoting The Parent Trap.
Truly. But
The conclusion there.
the most important thing, I think, is when you hear Jermaine tell it, he does a really good Will Smith impression, which I will not do.
Not surprised me. Will, it's really good.
It's very good. Now that we've talked a bunch of other movies besides When Harry Met Sally, the question that is on everyone's mind is, have you fallen asleep to this movie?
Yes. So I think I mentioned that I've watched this movie about every 6 months for the last 10 years. I'm not proud to admit that several of those times, perhaps 8 or 12 dozen, were while watching it when I was in college, in my college apartment, in my bathtub with wine. So I have both fallen asleep watching this movie in my bed, on a couch, and in a tub of water.
That last one is troubling.
Yes, I survived. Don't try this at home. Yes, there was.
But if you are going to, make sure you don't drink on an empty stomach. So maybe have some toast right near the tub as
Yeah.
well.
Make things easier on yourself. Just have your hairdryer plugged in, ready to go for when you
Yeah.
get out of the tub. And if you can just have all those things right next to the tub, that would be ideal.
Perfecto.
Yeah, no, I've definitely fallen asleep to this.
Mhm.
Um, in times that I have lived alone, this and Practical Magic and Amelie are all big fall asleep ones. Because in the case of this and Practical Magic, I know them well enough that if I fall asleep watching it, the movie will just continue on in my dream. Um,
It's
I'll just be like,
beautiful, actually.
yeah, I'll be like, oh, sick. Here's where I fell asleep. Oh, cool. I love this part. And in the case of Amelie, it's in French, so I don't know what's happening at any point in time. And it's not like I'm not good enough at French for it to like keep me awake. You'll, when we were talking about doing this podcast, when you were talking about having me on,
Mhm.
movie strongly recommended by my fiance Miles, was No Country for Old Men,
Mhm.
which, as I previously stated, is my second favorite. First favorite is Billy Madison. Second favorite is No Country for Old Men.
What is Billy Madison if not? Is that the one where he's a child?
He is a adult man who has to go back to school.
Oh.
He has to go back and do every grade. He's a Nepo baby. He's going to take over Madison hotels, but it's discovered that he's so stupid that his dad just trained him to pass every grade. And so he has to go back and do it all to prove that he is worthy. But No Country for Old Men, a very tonally similar film.
Uh-huh.
And that when I got my wisdom teeth out last year, I came home and flopped on the couch, and Miles was like, "All right, you got your ice pack, you got your painkillers. What else do you need?" And I was like, "Put on No Country for Old Men." And he puts it on for me. I'm like probably 45 minutes in, I fall asleep. I wake up, the movie's over. I hit play again. The movie's playing. I fall back asleep. I wake up. I watch it for a little while. Movie ends. I'm awake. Miles is like, "Do you need anything?" I'm like, "Play it again." So,
Play it again, Sam.
it again, Sam. I probably watched that movie 5 or 6 times, like the first day. And then the next day, woke up, got out of bed, went to the couch, ate my applesauce, turned on the TV. No Country for Old Men. On to it. Starting it over.
Do they ever get any country?
No, you know why? Because do you know who they are?
Oh, man.
No country for them.
No country. Whenever I read that, it is in the cadence of like Ruben from You Have to Marry Your Mother-in-Law. No country for old men.
Great country that doesn't whiff off when you're an old man.
Exactly.
A great drug cartel that
Oh,
whiff off.
oh.
Great
Don't
book.
whiff off.
Great book. Also.
God, what a good sketch. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well, When Harry Met Sally, great film.
Now coming to theaters near you.
Yeah, I would love to see this in a theater. I watched it on my little laptop, and it was good, but I can only imagine how beautiful New York looks on that big, dazzling silver screen.
It's really good next time you're in New York at the holidays, which I know you are
Mhm.
going to New Zealand, but I presume eventually you'll be like, I
Hopefully.
miss the resplendent tones of fall and winter. Uh, seeing seeing When Harry Met Sally in the fall or winter in New York on a big screen is cool as hell. Everyone very into it. Everyone comes in little sweaters. Everyone is happy. It's all a good time. Everyone's in sweaters. Did I say that already? Guess what? They are. And also everyone like laughs and cries during the old people parts. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's such a good movie, and that sounds good. I don't think I've ever seen it with more than like three people in one given time.
Wow.
There you go. Gotta do
Solid.
it.
Gotta do it. Better yet, organize a screening of this in New Zealand. Be like, all right, gang, you guys want to go through?
Bit of
Let me
bit of
yeah,
context
yeah.
about my culture. We've all heard about New Zealand. We really haven't heard about New Zealand culture much across the board, actually.
You've heard of New Zealand, but have you heard of New York?
I tell you a joke I did do for a while. I was like, I traveled from New York to New Zealand. Sounds like a long way. It's really just the one letter.
It's good. It's good.
Thanks.
New Zealand.
Do
And not
you have anything else you want to say to the people listening other than go to bed?
um, first of all, sweet dreams. Good night. I love you. Um, I hope that you get good rest. If you're having trouble sleeping, count backwards from 10 and try to make all of your breaths longer as you count backwards. So that way, breath number 1, when you reach it, is really a big, fat, heavy breath. And I hope that you sleep really good. And also, if you decide you can't sleep and you want to go on the internet, HattieHayes.com. That's where I live. Hi, I'm Hattie Hayes. On that website, you can find out information about me, such as what do I look like? What am I doing? How can you contact me? And furthermore, what if I want to support your work, creative or banal? Well, first and foremost, I have a zine coming out this year. The first issue of a zine coming out this year is a photography and poetry project called Reporter, which you can get your grubby little mitts on in the near future. Also, depending on when you're listening to this and how far in the future it is, you can also see me in various sketch comedy and musical comedy performances at theaters throughout New York City and online. March 5th, I will be appearing in a sketch show at UCB, which you can see. Uh, and if you're listening to this after March 5th, something that could happen because media is preserved into the future, why don't you just log on to that website I mentioned earlier, HattieHayes.com, and then you can find out if I might do another sketch show again.
Well put, I think.
Thanks.
I'd
I
also,
agree. You also what?
I'd also say, the good folks are probably listening on Substack to this or watching this on Substack. So Hattie has a Substack that you should subscribe to as well.
So you go to hattiejeanhayes.substack.com, you can access my Substack. Or if you go to hattieHayes.com or hattiejeanhayes.com or hattiejhayes.com, I own all those domains. There's a big button that links to my newsletter at the top.
I wish
My best,
I.
my best advice is buy every domain name that is your name, because otherwise your enemies can get them.
It's true. I really hate that I have to do tristanjmiller.com because I don't put the J in professionally. It's just there.
You do it amateur-wise. You put the
Ah,
J in.
it's true. I would plug with this Substack that you're listening to it on, but actually, honestly, this one might be one of the first that goes out that's not on the Substack because I think I have 8 episodes, so that's 8 hours of sleep. So now I might. Are you yawning? Are you literally yawning right now? Perfect.
Yeah.
So go to tristanmiller.substack.com if you're listening to this after I've decided to make it available to the public at large. And then I also want to say thanks for talking to me, Hattie. You're my best friend, and I love you, and I love this movie, and this was great.
I love you. You're my best friend. I'm glad that we both love. I'm glad that you wore a sweater. I'm sorry that I could not wear. For those of you at home, for those of you listening, Tristan is currently wearing a sweater that is the exact replica of the one that Harry wears in the scene when he and Sally are talking about their first dates following their breakups, and they are rolling out a big area rug in Harry's gigantic apartment when she got in the divorce. I am not wearing a sweater because the radiators in my home would cook me alive and then presumably come to life and eat me. But don't think of that while you're falling asleep.
Can I say? New York apartments used to be so different, eh?
I don't think they did. I think
No,
they've
I
always,
think they're just.
yes, I think they've always been like, hey, here's a big hot toaster,
No, I
a wet
mean.
toaster in your home.
No, no, no. I mean, like, you watch Harry Met Sally, and I guess it's just this. They're all well off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the main
I
thing.
didn't dig into the fact that Harry is a political consultant who apparently has time to like go to the park during the day, and Sally somehow is paying rent while working at New York Magazine, a magazine that famously hates paying people in the internet era.
New York Magazine. The magazine that never sleeps.
Whoa, but you, listener, you'll be sleeping.
Okay. Goodbye.